The winter of 1856, in a remote section of southeastern Ohio, 3 male infants were born under circumstances that remain a subject of debate among medical professionals. Their birth occurred in the concealed basement of a Quaker meeting house on a night of significant danger for the Underground Railroad. These triplets subsequently exhibited capabilities that contradicted established principles of human psychology and physiology. For more than a century, their descendants have maintained secrecy regarding these abilities, revelations that would necessitate a revaluation of our understanding of human perceptual limits. The following account has never been included in family records, official medical journals, or academic discourse. The evidence has been systematically suppressed. Now, the facts will be disclosed. This narrative originates within America's most clandestine rescue network. It is not intended for a general audience, but for those capable of examining mysteries that challenge fundamental beliefs. If you are among those who can process accounts that exist at the intersection of documented history and inexplicable events, subscribe now. State your location in a comment. I am documenting where individuals engaged with this mystery are located. These events occurred not in a distant land, but within the United States, potentially in areas disconcertingly near to you. This account began on a severe February night, when 3 lives commenced under highly improbable conditions, initiating events that would confound medical and scientific communities for generations. The settlement of Cedar Mills, Ohio, had an approximate population of 300 in 1856. It contained a cluster of homes, a general store, a blacksmith, and the brick meeting house, central to the local Quaker community. Their commitment to equality transformed this building into Station 14 on the Underground Railroad, a critical waypoint for individuals escaping north. Elder Samuel Whitmore managed this clandestine operation for nearly 8 years. Beneath the meeting house lay a hand-excavated basement, accessed by a trapdoor and ventilated through a system of hollow fence posts. It regularly sheltered between 3 and 15 individuals seeking freedom. February 1856 was a period of heightened risk. The Fugitive Slave Act of 1850 empowered slave catchers, and professional bounty hunters were active in the region. This environment of acute tension was the context for the arrival of a young woman at the meeting house 3 days prior. She identified herself as Ruth, stated she was 19 years old, and was in an advanced state of pregnancy. Ruth possessed an unsettling perceptiveness. She detected approaching individuals before they were audible, identified spoiled food beforehand, and calmly contradicted statements she knew to be false. She correctly identified a man using a pseudonym, who was later confirmed to be gathering information suspiciously. On the night of February 23, 1856, the agreed signal came at the door. The freedom seeker, who entered Joshua, reported that the Garrett brothers and 6 others with tracking dogs were en route and knew of the basement's location. They were approximately 2 hours away. As evacuation of the 7 individuals in the basement began, Ruth entered active labor. The process, as recorded by Samuel's wife, Martha, in her private journal, was anomalous. Ruth displayed no signs of distress. When asked, she stated she was carrying 3 boys who had been waiting for tonight. The sounds of the arriving slave catchers coincided with the acceleration of Ruth's labor. The 3 infants were delivered in rapid succession, each born in complete silence, breathing normally and alert. Throughout the 3-hour search conducted directly above them, the newborns produced no sound. They remained still, their eyes tracking the movement overhead as if comprehending the necessity of silence. Ruth whispered to them in an unfamiliar language. Only after the searchers departed did the infants cry, and they did so in perfect unison. Ruth died from postpartum hemorrhage less than an hour later. Her final words were, "They'll know things they'll always know. Take care of them, but remember, they're not like other children." The Quaker community collectively raised the infants, naming them Caleb, Ezra, and Isaac. Martha Whitmore's notes document the early manifestation of their unusual capabilities. At 6 months, the triplets would synchronously turn their heads toward empty doorways or windows, focusing on spots where individuals experiencing anger, distress, or deception would later appear. By 1 year, they could identify dishonesty, disengaging from anyone being untruthful. This ability extended to concealed intentions and unspoken plans. Samuel Whitmore noted, "It seemed the boys could perceive the human heart directly, a knowledge that appeared to burden them. They exhibited particular sensitivity to information concerning missing persons or concealed violence. A visiting merchant caused such agitation that the triplets refused sustenance until he departed. He was later arrested for murder, with his victim's body concealed in his wagon during his visit. By age 3, they displayed a synchronized, knowing look and whispered in the same flowing language their mother had used. The local physician, Dr. William Harrison, found no physical abnormalities to explain their perceptions and concluded they either possessed an unknown sensory capacity or he was witnessing an elaborate deception by toddlers. Their impact on Underground Railroad operations was significant. Their presence became a reliable security measure. Their calm indicated safety, while their agitation signaled a threat. Their accuracy prevented several potential infiltrations, but resulted in increasing isolation from other children and adults who felt perpetually evaluated. In 1860, at age 4, they demonstrated a new ability: sensing emotional distress at a distance. They exhibited extreme agitation at the exact time a group of freedom seekers was captured 40 miles away, resulting in deaths. This recurred weeks later with the death of a conductor. Dr. Harrison documented synchronized physiological changes during these episodes: aligned pulse, breathing, and dropping body temperatures. Adjusting their nervous systems were detecting remote trauma specifically related to betrayal and mortal danger. Families with missing members began seeking them out. They successfully located a missing 16-year-old girl, accurately directing authorities to her location and identifying her kidnapper. This rescue marked a turning point, transforming their perception from curious children to something more significant and unsettling. The Civil War's outbreak in 1861 further demonstrated their expanding capabilities. They sensed major military engagements like Bull Run days before news arrived, their distress correlating with casualty scale. They predicted the death of a soldier, accurately forecasting the date, method, and perpetrator days in advance. The critical test occurred in 1862 regarding a trusted conductor, James Morrison. The triplets reacted with unprecedented horror, screaming that he brings death. Despite their warnings, Samuel allowed the group to proceed but sent warnings. Morrison led the freedom seekers into an ambush. 7 were killed, 5 captured. The triplets' response was profound disappointment, stating, "People never listen. We know what people are capable of when they think no one is watching." In 1863, Dr. Elizabeth Hartwell conducted a formal study. Her findings, later classified, revealed the triplets had unique neurological structures. Their brains showed high activity in pattern recognition regions, and their nervous systems communicated She concluded they could directly perceive the electromagnetic signatures of human neural activity, explaining their ability to detect deception, hidden emotions, and distant trauma. Analysis suggested their mother's exposure to industrial toxins on a plantation caused a genetic mutation, creating a new form of electromagnetic sensitivity, dominant trait they would pass to their descendants. Dr. Hartwell theorized they represented a new branch of human evolution. Before her findings could be published, federal marshals arrived to take the boys to Washington for military use. The 8-year-olds, sensing the marshals' intentions, chose to disappear. Before leaving, they revealed others like them existed, scattered and unaware, and promised to find them. Their final words were, "We'll be watching. The world is about to change, and it's going to start with us." They vanished without a trace. Dr. Hartwell's research was sealed for 60 years. Samuel Whitmore carried the secret until his death in 1889, writing that he had seen humanity's future and it both terrified and amazed him. Subsequent decades saw reports of similar perceptive abilities across the U.S., often in children born during upheaval or to mothers exposed to toxins. Modern genetic research confirms that extreme environmental stress can trigger heritable mutations. A neurologist at Johns Hopkins University estimates that 0.1% of the current American population may possess some degree of this enhanced neural sensitivity, often unaware of its source. In 2003, a letter dated 1923 was discovered in a hidden room, written in 3 hands but signed the children of Cedar Mills. It contained accurate genealogical records of the triplets' descendants and predictions of future events that have since occurred, including both world wars and the moon landing. It stated the descendants had grown in number and ability and were preparing for a time when humanity would need their gifts. Concluding, "We are still here. We are still watching." On February 23, 2024, the 168th anniversary of their birth, over 50 people gathered at a specified address in Ohio. Attendees have not disclosed what transpired, but several have since collaborated on projects involving missing persons and criminal investigations. The story of the Cedar Mills triplets continues. They may represent a significant evolutionary development or a dangerous mutation. Their descendants reportedly remain, observing, and preparing. If their predictive abilities hold, the next phase of human evolution may be imminent. This account suggests the boundaries of human perception are more flexible than presumed, and that extreme conditions can produce extraordinary adaptation.